when I think of Brahma, my head automatically goes to the Big Bang, the creation of life.
Sure.
When I think of Shiva, my head automatically goes to the edges of the universe, which is the end.
Sure.
And destruction, and it also goes towards time.
Yeah.
Right? When I think of Vishnu, I go towards space.
Yes.
The time and space continuum, that they're the different sides of the same coin.
Yes.
At the same time, when I think of the blue and greens of our planet, sometimes I feel like, is Vishnu Bhagwan the actual general of all human beings and all life in general, not human beings, chimpanzees, tigers, birds,
Pranakoti.
everything.
Yeah.
Tell me the Shastra-based version of what I just said, if there is any.
Absolutely, there is. This idea that this is what, all of what you said is Krishna Avatar. Look at who he moves around with in Krishna Avatar. In this Avataram, he's roaming around with cows, with birds, with animals, with peacocks, in groves, sitting in forests, going and grazing these cows. All of these are nature-based activities. He is adopted into a cowherd family. He may be from the Yadu Vamsham, but he goes there and he does all of this, right? This whole idea that the one who is there in every living being and is making that consciousness, Chaitanyam, which is making that living being functional, which is making that body functional, that is Vishnu, that is Chaitanya. But with Krishna Avataram, what you see is all these beings, they become attracted to him. There are books that talk about all of what we were talking about, this whole idea that all of this life here, what chose to incarnate as what leaf in Vrindavan is mentioned in Krishna Upanishad. An Upanishad that talks about which Devata said, no, I'll be the leaf in Vrindavan when he'll come on one day and he'll sit under this tree, I'll be a leaf on that tree. Rudra said, I'll become the flute for him. Every Devata wanted a space there. When you talk about Devatas, is it gods that are sitting elsewhere? It is about a force in that being. It is about as many emotions that we have, as many elements of nature that we have. For everything, there is a Devata. Devata simply means ruling power. That ruling power is not necessarily visible to the physical eye. It is a cosmic force that is ensuring that that being is operating in a certain way. So all of these beings, Vishnu is the one that is controlling all of them. That's what we mean by sustainer, Sthiti Karaka. He is ensuring that there is a balance. Like you said, blue, green, his whole avataram is based on these colors only. No? In fact, interestingly, Krishna is called as Neela Megha Shyama. As we said, Shyama is the dark color. We associate it with blue, with darker shades of black also. Kali also is called Shyamala. Rama is also called as Durva Dala Shyama, the one who has the hue of a Durva leaf. Durva that we offer to Ganapati, that greenish hue Rama has. So if you go towards South India, you will see tons of, especially Tanjore paintings, they will have greenish hues of Rama. Again, elements of nature. Vishnu is always connected to nature. Every part of him it's speaking about his connection to nature. That's why nature is the easiest way to find him. Look at the practices around him. Look at Krishna's whole birth. Born on one side of a river, taken to the other side of a river. River sustains life. There only they're telling you. All of Krishna Leelas in the first part of his life. So Krishna Leelas are divided into two kinds of Leelas. All the Leelas that he performs now as a growing boy until he leaves Vrindavan, these are all called as Madhura Leelas. The second type, what he performs in Kurukshetra or leading up to the war between the Pandavas and the Kauravas, those are all called as Aishwarya Leelas. The interesting thing about Madhura Leelas is most of them have to do with elements of nature. He's standing on a tree and he jumps from that Kadamba tree into the water. I have to tell you something very interesting in this regard. The first time I had gone to Vrindavan, I was walking along the Yamuna on the ghats. And my friend who had taken me there, he very casually popped a question and he said, do you believe that we are what we keep thinking about? I said, what? He said, do you believe that? I said, believe what? He repeated the question, do you believe that whatever we keep thinking about, that's what we become? I said, yeah, I guess. I was not in a very philosophical mood at that time. So I said, okay. He didn't complete or, finish that conversation. He just said, hey, listen, stop where you are. You see the tree bark where you are right now? I said, yeah. So it's a tall, old tree bark. He said, just peek into that tree bark. I said, why? He said, this is the tree from where Krishna jumped. This is the Kadamba tree from where he jumped into the water when the five-headed snake Kaliya was playing havoc. So this is a story that happens when Krishna and his friends are playing ball and the ball falls into the water. And all of his friends hesitate saying, no, we can't go there because there's a poisonous snake called Kaliya or Kalinga who is going to kill us if we get there. So Krishna says that nothing to worry. He gets onto this tree and he jumps. And Krishna is not seen for some time. Some versions say it takes days. He goes underwater and he comes out dancing on Kaliya, because he subdues Kaliya's pride and he drives Kaliya away, because Kaliya's there terrorizing the citizens of Vrindavan. Now, this is one of Krishna's most interesting leelas. But to complete the story, why my friend asked me this, I realized only when I peeked into that tree. I'm looking at a hollow tree bark. I put my eyes into that hollow and I pulled back immediately in horror, because all I could see was two snake fangs darting out. The tree wood has become like two snake fangs. I looked at my friend and I said, what is this? And he said, that's what the tree keeps thinking about. The tree thinks about the time the snake came out. And that's the last thing that the tree saw. The tree has become that snake by virtue of thinking. Oof. That you can understand. Of course, that talks about his connection to all these natural elements. But that is Krishna Katha. That you can see the magic of the universe. You can see Krishna Leelas, which brings me to the third point around Krishna. One is Krishna Katha is in a grantham called the Bhagavata Puranam. Krishna Katha is in time, Janmashtami. And Krishna Katha is in Vrindavan. In that Vrajabhumi, the kind of things that happen there, the magic of the space. When I say Krishna Bhakti is different, it's not a loose statement. Because here you have to unlearn things from spirituality. Because everything that applies to quote unquote the boxes of spirituality, not that spirituality is a box, but there are certain tenets that we start to follow in the path of Sanatan Dharma. Krishna Bhakti will make you question even that, because it has to pull you into a different space altogether. And the experiences of those in Vrindavan are testimony to that. Because there, it's not as much about Shastram, not to say that it disregards Shastram, but it goes into a space beyond Shastram, where you have to understand what is actually happening over here. So I'll give you an example of a story. This happened like maybe a decade ago. There's a woman in Vrindavan who used to be extremely devoted to Krishna, to the point that she would talk to Krishna in her home and Krishna would respond. She treated Krishna like her child. And one day she went to the backyard and she was chatting with the neighbor, trying to talk about something. And from inside the house, she can hear Krishna calling. He said, "Come, Amma, come and feed me." So she's gone and given him something. Again, she's seeing him. So immediately the rational mind will say, what do you mean he said feed me? What it means is, to her, that's how that voice spoke. So she's gone and taken care of whatever he needed. 2 minutes later, she's resuming the conversation. He said, "Amma, I need something else. I need water." Then she's done that. Again, she goes back. Again, he says, "I need a blanket. I'm feeling cold." This goes on and on and on. And her interruptions, constantly he's interrupting her. And finally he screams, says, "There's a cat that's come into the house. I'm very scared." At this point, she is talking to her neighbor and she gets extremely irritated and she says, "You have the Shankha Chakra at your disposal, no? Why are you getting so scared of a cat? Use the Shankha Chakra then." And at that point, she herself has written about this and she said, he spoke to her in a voice and he said, "You want me to use my Shankha Chakra? I will. All these days, you treated me like a son, so I treated you like a mother. Now you want to remember that I'm Paramatma, I'm again distant from you, I'm gone." This is an undoing of a spiritual truth. Spiritual truth is, remember that he's God, remember that he's God, remember that he's everywhere. Krishna Bhakti is saying, forget even that. Forget all of these things. Just fall in love. Just take care of him. That is the whole idea in Vrindavan. That is the Gopikas. That is the Gopas. When they're with Krishna, they're all thinking about Krishna. They are not thinking Krishna as Paramatma. No, they're just thinking Krishna, 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 and they're obsessed. When Krishna goes into the water after the snake Kaliya, immediately in Vrindavan, there are a series of ill omens, of upshakuns that suddenly everybody sees. Nobody's thinking, did something happen to my children? They're all thinking, did something happen to Krishna? That is Krishna. That he pulls your mind. Krishna is the one who pulls you towards him. Once he does that, you can't see anything else. He won't let you see anything else. He will demand 5,000% attention. And if you question that and say, "I don't want to give it to you," he'll say, "Okay, cool. Then I'm going to go to the next person." That is why Krishna Bhaktas, they go into this state of ecstasy. And there are a host of people that are testimony to that, be it the Goswamis, the different yogis who live in Vrindavan till date. When they speak of Krishna, something happens to them. So, yeah.
Hey, if you enjoyed this clip from the Ranveer Show, we've uploaded a ton of other clips related to a ton of other topics. So explore the channel because there's something for everyone.